Welcome. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Welcome to today's consumer event. Today, we are hosting Oceania Cruises. Oceania is one of our favorite cruise lines. We've been partners for many, many years, but most importantly, they're one of our top partners. We do an incredible amount of business with Oceania. But beyond just the commercial relationship, we have friendships that we've developed over years. Jill and Trish, I've known them for a long time. We've traveled together, we've spent time together, we've done really good business together. But most importantly, we've also taken really good care of clients together, and that's at the end of the day what makes all of us very, very happy. So I'll start with some introductions, then I'll do some housekeeping items that we gotta go through, and we'll get started with today's event because we have some real cool things that we're going to share. Um, Oceania has a new ship that is about to be christened in the United States in November. I'm going to be on it, looking forward to it very much. And the ship is looking beautiful. People are loving it. And we'll learn a lot more from Trish and Jill very soon. So as we get started with today's event, I'll get started with letting Trisha introduce herself first, then Jill, then I'll introduce myself, and we'll take it from there. So Trish, tell us who are you?
Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate that. Yes, I am Trisha Wolf. I'm the Vice President of Field Sales for Oceania Cruises. I have worked for Oceania Cruises for over 23 years. I was a little baby when I started, and I'm proud of that too. I grew up with the company, and such a wonderful cruise line to work for. I started out as a sales director and then moved into the vice president position. We talked a little bit about my family. I have triplet girls that are 10 years old, and still able to. I have a wonderful husband who lets me do what I do, and it's really great. We also have Jill Hanlon, who is our amazing director of sales for Florida. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Trisha and Carlos. And hello, everybody. It's great to see your faces. It's fun for us to do this because it's engaging and it's more invigorating for us when we do these kind of things face to face. But I have been with Oceania, and I'm on your heels, Trisha. So 16 years. And like I tell everybody, I've been in the business for a lot longer, in the travel business since I was 18, but in the cruise business since like the late 80s. So I've worked for many cruise lines, but I always say that I found my home at Oceania. If I have anything to say about it, it is like a family environment at Oceania, and that's one of the things I absolutely love. You feel like you're cared for as well as being employed, and it's great to interact with all the wonderful travel partners like Luxury Cruise Connections, and like Carlos said, we've formed friendships over this time of working together, which makes it even more special. So that's me.
Amazing. And I am Carlos Edry, and I am the CEO of Luxury Cruise Connections. For those that know Luxury Cruise Connections, many of you probably know my name, have seen my face before, have attended to some of our consumer events. I have the pleasure of leading this incredible company that is full of incredible people. My team members are what make this company what it is. We're a luxury cruise agency that is focused on making clients happy, making your travel planning much easier. And yes, we're focused in the luxury cruise side of this industry, and hence the reason why we have such a strong relationship with Oceania. And I absolutely look forward to today's event because we haven't done an Oceania event in a while, and I know there's a few updates that our guests want to hear about. And we do have a special little event promotion going on at the end of the event that we'll share with everybody. But before we get started with today's agenda. I do want to share that I would love to hear your questions, your comments, your feedback. There's a chat box at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to type hello. So if you have any questions throughout the event, please type them in the chat box. And at the end of the event, we're going to open up a few minutes for Q&A. I'll go from the top all the way to the bottom, one by one of those questions. I'll read them and I'll answer them. So I'll ask Jill and Trish to maybe refrain from answering them in the chat, because I want to make sure that I read them at the end and publicly answer them so that everybody gets to hear those answers. It makes the event a little bit more engaging. I also want to make sure that if you've done business with Luxury Cruise Connections before, and you see the name of one of your travel advisors in the screen, please make sure to say hi. Feel free to do so. If you haven't done business with Luxury Cruise Connections before, then we'll be happy to assign you with one of our luxury cruise advisors at the end of the event, because that's how we do business. We're not a call center. We're not just like whoever's next available on the queue. We'd like to establish relationships. We like to know our clients. We like to form relationships and friendships. And so when you work with us, you have one assigned luxury cruise advisor that gets to know you and know everything about you. So from what I see, the poll that Denise just pushed a minute ago, that's another one of my items here in my list to make sure to mention. We're going to be pushing a couple of these throughout the event. We'd love to hear a little bit about who's in the event. 71% of you have done business with us in the past. 29% of you have not so far. That's fantastic, because hopefully this will be an opportunity for that 29% of you to get to know us, and the other 71% of you hopefully can share with the rest of the audience if we're doing a good job. Hopefully we are. In any case, all right, we spoke about the chat. We spoke about the polls, and just reminding everybody that we are recording today's event. And tomorrow, after we conclude this event, we'll download the video, and tomorrow we'll send it together with the offer that we have for you guys, and together with some additional information that probably will come up throughout the event that we want to share with you guys. So look out for that email, that recap email tomorrow. It's one that you can share with your friends, family, neighbors. Feel free to do so, because we obviously want to spread the love. And that's it. So Trish, go ahead and share your screen, and
Okay.
and we'll get this going.
Perfect.
Excellent.
And you see the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. We can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Jill and I are going to tell you everything we possibly can about Oceania. Between over 30-something years of experience, I think, just with Oceania Cruises. If we can't answer it, we'll get you the answer. But we appreciate you being here. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to go over 4 different items today, our agenda. We don't have a long agenda. We don't have a long presentation. Unless you want, we can talk for 2 hours, but we're hoping to keep this short and sweet, assuming that you know a pretty decent amount of Oceania. And if you don't, well, your advisors can definitely provide some additional information. We're going to start with our Oceania Allura. We'll talk a little bit about our new collection of itineraries that are being launched next week. Our program that is our offer for Your World Included, and then we'll talk about an exclusive offer through Luxury Cruise Connections. So I had the privilege to be able to sail back in July on Allura. We had what we call a preview cruise. And I have to say, this ship it's about a 1,200 passenger vessel. It's a sister ship to Vista, if any of you have sailed on our sister ship Vista. And she really is our most innovative and amenity-driven ship to date. The attention to detail throughout the entire ship, the suites and staterooms, when you have a concierge level and you have a full walk-in shower in your standard veranda or concierge level, the different types of restaurants that we have available and the attention to detail when it comes to cuisine. It's just, it's so exciting to be a part of it. We have, we're really paying attention to experiential learning when it comes to our culinary center. We have a chef studio on board. We also, that's also on our Vista as well. We have a wonderful Link Digital Center. And what's impressive is to see that we have a lot of our guests that enjoy learning different things, want to be part of understanding. When you think of Link Digital Center, you know, we might teach some of our guests on board, you know, how to create a reel on Facebook, right? Or on Instagram, or, you know, how to take the perfect food or cuisine picture. You know, there's little things that we can teach you, and that's what Link Digital Center does. We have our beautiful artist loft for our artists on board, plenty of wine tastings and pairings, and we have a mixology bar as well, which is really fun to attend the founders bar. But there's so much to offer, you know, even from the different types of cuisines that we have, you know, on board. We have Chef Alex, who is part of our executive culinary team following Jacques Pepin. Jacques Pepin is our founder. And for those of you that have sailed, we actually brought back Jacques on our Allura. And I have to tell you, that's my favorite restaurant. It truly is an experience. And when I tell you this, if you've never sailed on Oceania, you have to think about some of the little details that Oceania pays attention to when it comes to, oh, you know, in Jacques' restaurant, if you order the Dover sole, they are rolling out the cart and they are going to debone it right at the table. They have a wonderful Chilean, a wonderful sea bass that's wrapped in a puff pastry, and then our crew pour a wonderful cream sauce over it, and it is by far my most favorite dish ever. So when you sail, if you're at a table of any table, 4, 6, 8, you have to order that for the table because it's big and it's wonderful, and you will remember it from here on out. I guarantee that. But this is kind of the evolution of Oceania. Is when we first started, and I can attest to it because I was part of the original sales team. We started out being the foodie cruise line, and we still are. We have to tweak things and evolve throughout the last 20 years. We look for what our guests are looking for today versus what they were looking for 20 years ago. And bringing Chef Alex on has been a huge component to the evolution of Oceania.
Also,
On, Go
Trisha,
ahead.
that, just to point out that Chef Alex is a master chef of France,
Yes.
which is a highly, highly acclaimed thing to have in the culinary world. Not only do we have Chef Alex, but we also have Chef Eric, who is also a master chef of France. So many cruise lines don't have one master chef of France. We have two at Oceania, and it really shows.
Mhm.
Right, we have
Absolutely.
there's a few other important names that are part of your culinary experience. Didn't we just had dinner in Las Vegas with one of our or advisors, I guess.
We
You
we
know,
sure did. So one of the godmothers, well, actually the godmother of our Vista is Chef Giada de Laurentiis. And again, she is part of our culinary advisory team as well. Works with Jacques, works with Chef Alex, and it, you know, it was really great. Carlos and I, we were in Las Vegas for a conference, and we hosted some of our top partners across North America, Carlos being one of them. And it was really great because Chef Giada served us her famous lemon pasta, and
amazing,
she plated it and served it, and it was just spectacular, right?
absolutely insane,
And guess what? That is a dish that is served in our Toscana restaurant.
amazing.
And very fortunate, you know, sometimes she does sail with us and walks into that Toscana Italian restaurant every night just to say hello to everyone. So if you're fortunate to sail with her, you will see her on board.
Love it.
And I think it's also, great to note that as we evolve, we are constantly including and adding new recipes throughout our entire fleet. As we introduce Allura, we've got 30 new items for breakfast, 40 for lunch, and over 200 new for the dining experience. And again, it constantly evolves with our wonderful dining experience. We've introduced 12 new Nikkei dishes in our Red Ginger Asian fusion restaurant, which again, the nice thing about all of these restaurants is there's no charge for any of them. So here you're getting a wonderful 5-star experience, and you're not having to pay $25 or $50 to dine in the wonderful steakhouse. All we ask is that you make a reservation, and then you're getting, if you're in Red Ginger, as you sit down, you're presented with a box of different types of chopsticks that you can try out, whether it's bamboo or stainless steel or even ivory chopsticks. And then the experience just keeps going from there with different types of infused teas and, of course, our wonderful dishes as well. Jill, what's your favorite restaurant?
Well, it's between Toscana and Jacques, because I just recently sailed on the Riviera, and I've always preferred Toscana. I love Italian, and I love that whole tray of different infused olive oils and vinaigrettes that you get to use with the bread that's baked fresh. But I had an outstanding meal in Jacques on my last cruise, and I got the special, and it was like a beef Wellington, and it was amazing. So I think both of them now, but I
I
also
know.
love a good steakhouse. So
Oh, I
I'm
know.
torn. I'm torn.
I hope I hope you all have had lunch. I have not. So maybe that's why I'm talking so much about the different types of cuisines that we have, because I'm hungry. Okay, well, let's move on to our collection of itineraries for 2027, 2028. So this is a big deal. Next week, we are launching over 250 itineraries across 7 cruise ships. It's what we in the industry call a double season launch. So normally we introduce, about 6 months of itineraries, and we're going for almost a full year, to where you'll have voyages out through April of 2028. I know that's crazy. 2028, we're already talking about it, but
Wow.
I know.
I mean, but this is what you guys got to do. I mean, I know that demand is so high that you got to open up itineraries so far out so that people can plan ahead and make sure they get what they're looking for.
Absolutely. And that's where your team does an amazing job with working with all of our, your clients to determine what itinerary works best for each of you, and then working with our cruise specialists to get the stateroom, that specific stateroom that you may look for, or itinerary as well. So I have to tell everyone that's on board, when Luxury Cruise Connections contacts us, Jill, what do? We jump.
Yeah, pretty much.
We jump.
Oh, you're too nice.
We try to jump as much as possible. So I hope you all know that, because we do hold Luxury Cruise Connections in a high regard when it comes to how they work with each of you and then work with us. And it's a great relationship.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So to give you an idea of some of the highlights, because you would not be happy with us if we went over 250 itineraries today. We could do that, but we're going to give you the highlights, and then we're going to let you kind of take a look at the itineraries as you're interested. We have over 200 unique itineraries with extended journeys as well. And unique itineraries is that we don't repeat. So over 200 in this launch of itineraries that are completely distinct and unique to its own voyage. We don't offer we're not the type of cruise line that has, for example, a Barcelona round trip 7-day turnaround. That's just not who we are. But we want you to be able to enjoy the world, and there's so many different options. So that's why we have wonderful itineraries to choose from. One of our itineraries is on our Oceania Vista, and you'll embark on a 60-day South Pacific Grand Voyage. I'll show you the itinerary in just a minute. Departs out of Miami. We have a 96-day from Auckland to Rome. We are also, our Riviera is in Alaska this season for 25, and she's going to return to Alaska with a pretty heavy focus on, some Seattle round trip voyages. We listened to all of you and our clients, and we heard that, a round trip in and out of a U.S. port is more exciting. I have to say the second bullet to the last is that we will have, for the first time ever, a quiet season in the Mediterranean. And what we mean by that is most cruise lines tend to leave Europe in November because it does get cold there. And we do know that there is an interest in this. So Allura, which is our newest ship, will be in the Mediterranean November through March. It's basically November of 27 through March of 2028.
I absolutely love this, and I think this is going to be a win-win for everybody. If think about Europe and think about Christmas time too, the celebrations and the festivals that go on, and so that's going to be a hot ticket, I'm sure. And the other thing in there, Trisha, is I've heard from travel advisors throughout my territory that Japan is hot. People are wanting to go to Japan. So to have first time ever those round trip Tokyos, I think that those are going to be hot sailings, as well as, of course, the grand voyages, which I was going to ask you, Trisha, can I take 60 days off to go on that South Pacific? No, okay.
I'm going to say no. Although we do have Starlink on board all of our vessels. So if you could figure out a way to work on board, that's a possibility. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And then we will also say we will have our farewell tour in 27, 28 for our beautiful Insignia. She was one of the second ships to come into our fleet, and we will have a farewell tour for her, and more details to come, as we get closer. And I think it's good to note that, some of our itineraries, we have a lot of off the beaten path locations. We don't just showcase the icons of Barcelona, Rome, Athens. We really want to set ourselves apart with some boutique ports, like Lipari, which is the largest of Sicily's Aeolian islands. There's so many different components, and there's so many little gems across the world. And that's where we look at our itineraries to offer Martinique ports of call, but also boutique as well. And here we talked a little bit about our quiet season. It's the first time we're ever going to offer this quiet season. I think it's going to be really great, because if you think about it, if you've been to Europe or to the Mediterranean in the summer, or let's say the springtime, going back and being able to experience it in the winter, the fall and winter months, is going to be a completely different experience. And probably you'll think, wow, this is, I was here, 6 months ago, or I was here 3 years ago, and it looked completely different. So I think that's exciting, because, we see, if you just think about Canada, New England, and if you live in an area or you travel to an area where the leaves change, think about that in Europe, and what that looks like when you open up a quiet season to our fleet.
You're going to go back to one of those destinations and you're going to say, oh, so this is how it looks like when there's not 1,000 people around me.
Right.
Exactly. That's a great point, Carlos.
Yeah.
And then you realize, in addition to that you're on a cruise ship that only has 1,200 guests right? And when you're able to dock in certain ports of call. And so, like, when you look at this itinerary, you've got some really, as we said, some marquee ports. It's going to start in Miami. It'll go through the Panama Canal, sailing to Hawaii, French Polynesia, Fiji, Australia, and so many more ports of call. But it's a wonderful itinerary to be able to spend 60 days on board Oceania. And if you think about it, you unpack once, your dining is taken care of. You do not have to make your bed every day. And you get a wonderful experience throughout. And this is, of course, the 96 day that we mentioned. And this is Asia and Africa. It's aboard our Vista. It's in January of 2028. So if you want to get out of Florida or wherever you're located, this might be a good opportunity to sail from, from Auckland. I don't. No, grand voyages to me are a little tough again because of my family lifestyle right now. But I'm typically a 10 to 14 day cruiser, and I have to tell you, we have plenty of options for 10, 12. We even have some 7 day voyages as well that are available. Plenty to offer. So in addition to that, the reason we wanted to have this call with you all today and introduce our 27-28 season is because we're also offering an opportunity to pre-register. So you can work with your travel advisor between now and the 17th, look at the itineraries. It's 50% deposits on all itineraries through the end of October, but this gives you the option to review the itinerary, pick out the sailing you're interested in, as well as the stateroom. And because we have such a great connection with Luxury Cruise Connections, our cruise specialists will work with them to allow for a pre-registration process. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
That's super important because, like I said, typically when this pre-registrations launch, everybody rushes to get their favorite stateroom, their favorite cabin, their favorite suite. And this is just a really good opportunity by just putting 50% of the deposit amount to just lock it in and plan everything around it with enough time. So great.
Mm-hmm. And just to kind of recap, some of the key takeaways that we talked about just over the last few minutes is that, take a look now so that you can pre-register. I think Oceania offers quite a bit of opportunity with the variety of the itineraries that we offer, the different types of suites and staterooms to choose from, all the way from our owner suites to our French balconies. We have a lot of different dining options for you all to choose from. We have that quiet season in Europe, which is new and different. You can tell we're excited about it because we're talking a lot about it. The itineraries that we have offer a lot of different types of excursions, and it allows you to be able to choose the type of excursion that you're interested in. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but as far as, the different excursions, there's, if you wanted a city tour because you've never been to that particular destination, we have that. Or if you wanted a small, a small immersive experience in that particular area, we can make that happen as well.
Yeah, actually over like 8,000 different shore excursion tours to choose from. So it's quite a variety. And we always include, when you're looking at the shore excursions online or you're going over it with your advisor, we always put out there if it's hard to navigate, in other words, if it's more for an adventurous type person, or if it's something that is an easy walk. So we take it on that level as well as just giving you the example of the actual excursion. So I'm going to talk about your world included. Trisha, I've wondered before I got to this, did you, because you were on the Allura, and on the Allura we added the creperie.
Oh, yes.
Did you take part in that, I hope?
Well, So I was on for 4 days, and we have this beautiful bakery that's combined with our baristas cafe, and the bakery has amazing Nutella donuts there, or they also have the apple cinnamon ones too. But uh, across the corridor in the same area, we do have a creperie, and it's also a gelateria. So I have to be honest, I really enjoyed the gelato. Um, Almost every day, I did have to try the crepes because the crepes Suzette was phenomenal. It's next level in my
Wow.
opinion, and that's what I said, Carlos. This is game changing. Um, and so just be prepared that you probably will have one of those three items at least once a day.
Oh, man.
But you walk, if you take the stairs everywhere, you're good.
Right, exactly.
Is there a
Who wants to
gym?
take the stairs? We're
Oh,
on
huge,
vacation.
beautiful gyms on all of our ships.
Yes, we sure
All
do.
kinds of all kinds of weights and machines and fitness classes that are complimentary. So yeah, there's no excuse.
But we
It's
will find the excuse though.
yes. So now that you've learned a little more about the onboard experience and what Oceania is all about, it's about immersiveness. It's about the luxury that you're surrounded by with our beautiful ships and amenities. But it's also about the inclusiveness. And this is part of our luxury by choice, what we call it. And we've added to that and enhanced that. And this is actually as of September 17 with the addition. But let me talk about what we already include with Oceania. So as of today, all your specialty dining, as Trisha mentioned, you simply make the reservation. There's no upcharge. There's no charge at all. You're in suite dining and stateroom dining. So that is available 24/7, unlimited Starlink Wi-Fi, all of your sodas, specialty coffees, teas. And yes, that area, the baristas is a hit on our ships. It's very well loved and great different types of coffees and teas. All of your still and sparkling Vero water, juices, smoothies, gourmet ice cream, as well as on the Allura, the gelato, as Trisha mentioned. All your group fitness classes, laundry services, laundrette services, and shipboard gratuities. So you really are not you're not having added costs at every turn. And now we've just recently announced for bookings beginning September 17th and beyond, which is just next week, we've added another choice. So you can choose either the wine and beer by the glass at lunch and dinner time, or you can choose a generous shore excursion credit. So it's up to you. What is important to you is what is important to us. So we want to give you that choice of saying, oh, I much prefer to have the shore excursions, or I really enjoy having a glass of wine at lunch and dinner or a beer after, so this is up to you. We don't assume to know what you value. So this is part of our enhanced program as of September 17. Next slide. There we go. So this shows you the breakdown, depending on cruise length, of the shore excursion credit per person. So the longer cruises up to $600 per person, additional inshore excursion credit. If you choose not to take the shore excursion credit, you get the complimentary wine, beer with lunch and dinner. And that is, I have to mention, that's at any venue. You don't actually have to, any bar venue, you don't have to be in the dining rooms per se. So it's a pretty open program and really enhances the overall experience. And you can always upgrade that as well. If you want to go with a full, open bar type concept, you can upgrade to that program. We call that our Prestige Select, is it,
Yes.
Trisha? So you can always do that with your advisor.
So since you're on that, Jill, real quick, because I'm getting some side questions on the chat.
Mhm.
What do we know from the top of your head what the upgrade price is for for the upgraded liquor package?
I think it's $40 per person per day,
Correct.
$39.95 rounded up to 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And then I'll come back with more questions that I'm getting.
Yeah. So we do also, on top of all that we've already shared with you, that is the inclusiveness of Oceania. We also have a special offer just because you're here today, taking your time to learn about or learn more about Oceania, an exclusive offer only through Luxury Cruise Connections. And this offer is for a limited time. Again, this is in addition to what we've already talked about as our promotional offers. So this is any new bookings through Luxury Cruise Connections made September 11 through the 25th. So it's a 2-week window. You will additionally receive a $300 per stateroom shipboard credit. So that is just another extra cash in your pocket to spend any way you wish. And just as a reminder, don't forget to pre-register for the upcoming launch because we do sell out. Especially those top categories, your PHs and above are the hot ticket items. So if you're inclined to, you have a bucket list itinerary, you definitely want to pre-register for that to give you the best chances of getting exactly what you're looking for. And you do that through your Luxury Cruise Connection advisor. They will contact us and get you on that pre-register list. And we work that as we receive it. So it is kind of a first come, first serve type of basis.
Great. And
yeah, it's a good
and
stuff.
yeah, no, for sure. And I think this is your last slide, right?
It sure is. So I'm going to stop sharing so that we can.
Yeah, I'll get started with some questions and comments on my end. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. I want to remind our guests that are attending today's event that this $300 shipper credit is something that Oceana and us work out specifically to promote new bookings. So they can only be applied on new bookings made starting from today. But of course, pricing with Oceania always goes up. So typically, if you booked a few months ago, most likely you got a different promotion that would that might not be combinable with this. That is not combinable with this. So important to take that into account. And I have some questions that I was getting kind of on the side chats. I'll start with those, and then go back to the main chat and read some of the other questions. And as I go through this, please make sure to continue to type your questions in the chat, and I'll go through all of them. But I'll start with one of our guests is booked on the Vista 2027 Global Adventure, and Alan and Paula Crandall, they work with DJ. They're going on this what is it, 140 something day cruise around the world. It's an incredible itinerary. Wanted to maybe we can spend 2 minutes talking about that itinerary. What's special about it? I know I caught you a little bit off guard because we might have not have a slide prepared for it. I'm so sorry. So
What is the itinerary? We'll see if we can
the
look it up.
2027 World Cruise.
Oh, it's the World Cruise for 2027. Is it the 244 or is it the
I'm
244 day?
not sure exactly which one precisely is
Sure.
Alan and Paula booked on, but it's the I mean anything that we can share about that 2027 global adventure on the Vista, I'm sure would be appreciated. And maybe if Alan and Paula want to ask a specific question about the 244 day is the one that they're
Carlos, it's the 244. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
We have quite a few questions that we don't want to bore everybody with them. We'll probably just talk with DJ. But one of my major concerns is the cruise does go through the Red Sea, and we have the Somali pirates and their Houthi rebel problem with rockets. So one of the things that two things. One is what type of security does the ship have? for those types of things, number one. And then number two, if that gets closed down again, which has happened in the past, what happens to the rest of our cruise? We're going to have to go south around the continent of Africa, so which would be a significant change. And that could happen 3 days before we hit the Red Sea area, given the tensions in that zone of the world.
So we might have to take this offline because we don't have a lot of itineraries that go through this particular area. But to give you an idea, we hold our clients in the highest regard. And so when it comes to security and when it comes to safety, we want to make sure that everyone is safe. And that is first and foremost, our biggest concern. So we also don't want to make rash decisions immediately. And I can tell you that from even the 2026 around the world voyage, we communicated with, all of our guests through our advisors on that particular itinerary and explained kind of the what ifs. So as we move into 2026 and then looking towards 2027, if we have to make a change, we will definitely let you know. But at this point, we don't have any specific plans to change it because we are pretty far out at this point. And then in regards to specific security, I'd rather take that off because I want to get you exact information on your questions and how we can help answer whatever questions you have about it.
So what we can
It's a
do.
wonderful itinerary, though. It's onboard Vista. We've never had a newer ship like this featuring an around the world cruise. So that's pretty unique in itself. And then this is the longest itinerary that any cruise line has ever offered for a world cruise at 244 days. There are other options if someone's interested. There's a 120-day that ends in Doha, and then there's also a 180-day that ends in Southampton. But it really is such a wonderful itinerary. Congratulations. We're excited for you.
Yeah. And what we can do is, well, like Trisha said, we'll take it offline and via DJ, and obviously super happy to partake on that conversation. We can go into very specifics and we'll send them over to Trisha and Jill and they'll get back to us. But I guess
Carlos, I just want to jump in real quickly. We did a lot of research on the cruise at this length, and this one is by far the best. So I just had that one security concern. The rest of it looks fantastic. I just don't want to be balking people in the head with a bottle that's trying to climb over the rail. That's all.
No, we don't either.
No, and one thing that I wanted to mention one thing that I wanted to mention is don't think for a second that Oceania or any of our cruise line partners for that matter will take the slightest risk. So if there is any sort of uncertainty or if there's any sort of unrest that could possibly be predicted in any way, by the time you have to make final payment and all that stuff, you'll start hearing from Oceania and options are going to start coming up. So yeah, I mean, the only way Oceania will end up cruising through the Red Sea is if there's absolutely no reason to think that things are not going to be okay. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. And thank you so much for asking that question, and thank you so much for your trust that you're putting on us to help you take care of that help taking care of you on that extremely long itinerary, incredibly long itinerary, but you're gonna have an amazing time. And okay, I have a few other questions that I want to ask that I got on the side chat. Here we go. So the 50% deposit that a guest can put into to hold the 2027-28 itineraries, what's the refundable conditions, or are they refundable? What are the conditions like? What are the penalties like, and so forth?
Yeah, the deposit is refundable. So you're just basically locking in your stateroom and your spot. You're not liable for, cancellation penalties start, I think a week after, somewhere. Is that the window, Trisha? A week after.
So you would put your deposit down, and then 5 days after, is when deposit is due. And then after that, if you do cancel, there is an admin fee of, I think, $150, but
And that's all in writing on your
Yeah.
cruise invoice.
but heavy penalties don't kick in until final, which is anywhere from 150 to 180 days prior to sailing.
Awesome. Good to know.
Mhm.
Good to know. And then another question that I got from the same guest is, so if you with the enhancement that we just talked about with the option of wine and beer versus shipper credit, etc. If you take the option of wine and beer, then is the upgrade to the liquor package less expensive versus if you don't?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So
So
if you
Yeah,
don't,
you would pay if you buy the Prestige Select package outright, it is more expensive than simply upgrading from the beer and wine offer.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, that I think that's the question. Okay, and I got another question from Susan
I
Holst.
saw some as you're looking, Carlos, I saw a lot about when can we see the itineraries. Your Luxury Cruise Connections has our e-brochure in hand, so that can be shared with you at any time.
Perfect. Perfect. And all right, let me see. And then let me go back to the general chat here and go one by one. Mary Lou was asking, I will sail on Serena in October. Disappointed that Jax is not on that ship. What do we have to say about that?
So are we.
Yeah, we do have some Jacques menu items though that we prepare in the grand dining room. So there are some Jacques menu items to choose from in the grand dining room. So you do have that option. But with those are our smaller ships, our beloved R-class ships. So they're about half the size of what we have on the Allura. So unfortunately couldn't build more space for more dining options, but you do have Toscanas and Polo Grill, the grand dining room. You've got Waves, you've got the Terrace Cafe. So you still have a lot of different areas to dine on those ships.
And keep in mind, a lot of times, many of the guests will, dine in the Terrace Cafe or one of the specialty dining restaurants. And I would keep the grand dining room in there as well. Like, make sure you dine a few times in that particular restaurant, because her menu is very extensive. And as Jill said, you will have different options to taste the cuisine from Jacques and also from Red Ginger.
Amazing. Ruben, one of our luxury cruise advisors, was asking, making sure that the $300 shipper credit is combinable with all promotions, all current promotions.
Yes, it is.
All right, fantastic.
But you have to book like 5 cruises. I'm teasing. I'm just teasing everyone. Yes, it is combinable.
And it is across the fleet. So any new booking, no matter what ship we're sailing, any new booking gets that
Correct.
credit if done within the 2-week period.
While I continue asking some of these questions, Denise, if you can push a poll on how many people have sailed on Oceania before. There we go. Thank you so much.
I did. And one more thing, I did send a interest form in the chat. So if you guys see it and if you guys are interested for someone from Luxury Cruise Connections to contact you after the event, any itineraries you might be interested, who will call you after the event, just fill out the form and we'll have a travel advisor reach out to you guys.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay, perfect. And Yuval, thank you for joining us. And he was asking, do the free glass of wine or beer offered on current reservations? I am on the Round the World cruise on Vista March 2026.
Around the world, I think it's included. I have to double check, but
yeah, I think we need to double check on that one.
Yeah, we need to double check.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
but
we'll get back to you on, Carlos.
We include a lot more on the Around the Worlds.
Yeah,
so sure. we'll find out for sure and let you know.
Yeah. Okay, and Ruben was asking again, did I understand correct that House Select can be used at lounges and bars during lunch and dinner? So I guess you have like a span of time, certain hours that you
Correct.
can
So
use.
basically from 12 to 1:30 in any of the different bars that you can use that. So for example, if you're at the pool and you went to Waves Grill and it's 12:30, you can go to that bar by the pool and you will also be able to take advantage of that package. And then also the same at the dinner hours, which is from 6:30 to 8:30. So if you have an 8 o'clock reservation and you're dining, we're not going to cut you off at 8:30 because you're dining in any of the different restaurants. But if you happen to just, walk by and it's between 6:30 and 8:30 and you go up to the Horizons Lounge, then you also can get that complimentary beer or wine drink during that time frame.
I also want to mention we have
That's good.
fantastic happy hours on board. And those are typically each evening in the different bar venues. We have happy hours that are like 2-for-1 drink prices.
Awesome. Okay, great. When will it be available to see 2027 itineraries? That's a question from Lisa. Lisa Maron.
You can actually Denise has the e-brochure, so that can be forwarded out to anybody at any time from here out.
Okay, perfect. So itineraries are available, Lisa. We'll make sure to share additional information on this on the follow-up email that we'll send tomorrow, but we'll also make sure that you get more information on them directly. If we don't want to book air with Oceania, and this is a question from Will Han, if you don't want to book air with Oceania, would you consider a subsidized airport ship transfer in ports like Rome, which are long distance, high price if booked individually?
So we don't include air on our pricing, but if you wanted to book a transfer, you certainly could from any of those.
When you book air with Oceania, transfers are included, right?
Correct. Yes.
So I guess the question is, would you consider a subsidized airport ship transfer in ports like, so basically what they're saying is, if I decide not to book air, if I'm understanding correctly, Will, you're asking like if Oceania would consider like a subsidy on airport transfers as a promotion type of thing, if you're not booking air, if I'm understanding that correctly?
So typically if you book your own air and you're looking for a transfer, let's say in Rome to the port of Civitavecchia, then you if you let us know, then we should be able to get you a transfer. The caveat is that you have to get to the airport. So we would do a transfer from the airport and it has to be on day of embarkation, to the ship.
Yeah.
I think that was the question.
At a fee, there's a charge for
Correct.
that.
Yeah, there is a charge for that.
Okay. And we'll always, happy to dive more into it on an individual basis. We can obviously reach out to you later on and go deeper into that question if need be. Lisa, she is not interested in the 2020 in the world cruise in general, but she'd like to hear more about 2027 itineraries. So, like I said, we're going to send some information about 27 itineraries in the follow-up email that we'll send tomorrow. But if we have some extra time at the end of the event, we can dive a little bit more and have a little bit of a chat on 27 itineraries as well. Happy to, get all of you guys excited a little bit about those 27 itineraries.
I have a few itineraries here if you want me to share my screen, or do we want to send the e-brochure out?
Both. So
Okay.
what we'll do is let me just kind of go through some of these
Sure.
questions, and then at the end we'll go back and talk a little bit more about those 27
Sure.
itineraries. Okay. Yuval has another question. One of the reasons I booked around the world was my strong desire to revisit Bora Bora. That stop was canceled. Why? There's not security issue there. Yeah.
It's a Raiatea instead of Bora Bora.
It's Raiatea.
I'm looking at the schedule.
So we'd have to look into that specifically as to why it was canceled. It could just be the birthing component in Bora Bora versus Raiatea. But we can look into that and provide you some more information.
Yeah.
All right.
And my other question, sorry to interrupt, is the offer of one free glass or beer, does it include my around the world cruise, which is already booked?
That's what we have to check on. I know there was another guest that was
Yeah, it was-
interested in learning that, as well as what's included on your around the world cruise in 2026 and then also 2027. So we'll get you those inclusions.
Okay. Thank
Um,
you.
And just to be sure, just hearing what you said, the beer and wine component is, it's not one, it's beer and wine throughout lunch and dinner. So it's a package that if you happen to order 2 glasses of wine, that would be okay.
Well, put it on my cruise, please.
I do hear
I-
you.
I'm a dedicated religious Oceania
there you go.
person.
He
Yeah,
is. I can attest to that.
for 15 years already. And yeah, I
Thank-
think I'm gold or something. Yeah.
I can
Well,
attest to that for sure.
thank you for continuing to sail with us.
Always. Only.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Yuval. Thank you for asking this question. And I have a question from Paul Dotson. Are the new itineraries online for Allura? Paul, they are. And we're gonna get with you on some of that information afterwards, and then maybe at the end of all these questions with Trisha, we can also showcase a couple for sure. Wilhan, a plus. Thank you for offering the beer and wine versus excursion credit upon starting this month. Does it apply to an October 2025 cruise? That's a good question.
Could you repeat that?
Does it apply? Does it apply if he books an October 2025 cruise, the new beer and wine promotion?
So any bookings, any cruise that you book starting September 17th, whether it's a 2025 sailing, 26, 27, or 28, that offer is applicable to. It's our standard Your World included program.
So
And
it doesn't apply to already booked cruises.
That is correct.
And just to go back to that around the world to 244-day, it does include unlimited wine, beer, and spirits. I'm looking it up online right now.
Yes, I was also looking into it as well, and that's correct. So you're good, Yuval. You can drink all the wine and beer you want.
Keep drinking.
Is Jack coming back as promised on the 26th, March 26th cruise?
What?
For the Vista?
The Jack restaurant.
Yes, on which ship? On the
He's
Vista?
He's on the Vista for the 26 World Cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
Yeah.
good.
Wonderful.
Awesome, thank you. So Rosario was making a comment. It is so complicated if it applies to new bookings only. It's hard to ignore the drinking culture where there are so many people who will give up drinking, but meanwhile are offered this. So Rosario, you have the option to not take the beer and wine package and then exchange that for excursion credit. Okay.
I thought I heard that you have an option for one or the other
Yeah,
beginning,
you have the option, yes.
but that's only for new bookings, not for existing bookings like Will had asked a moment ago.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a new enhancement, that option. So what it is with the new bookings as of September 17.
What we can do, Rosario, if we'd be happy to look into your booking, and maybe we can reprice it to the most current promotion, see if it makes sense, and we can look into that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I know that my team here is taking some notes on who we have to get back to with follow-ups. So let's make sure to write that one down and get back to Rosario on it. Um,
Ruben was helping me. He's been very good, so I'm sure he'll reach out pretty quickly. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Thank you, Ruben, as well. Okay, I have a question from Nancy, but before I go to that one, I have two other questions on the private chat. So let me jump on those. Susan was asking me, can you send us an e-brochure? Yes, we'll make sure to include the e-brochure on the follow-up email that we send tomorrow. So the marketing team is going to make sure that that e-brochure is going to be included so that everybody gets it tomorrow. And I'll have another question. Lynn says, my favorite cruise with you and Oceania was from Miami to Miami to the Amazon. I do not like flying, not anymore. Any more such trips coming in the future? So basically the question is, are there any other like this long South American or long itineraries, Miami round trip that Lynn could take advantage of?
I mean, we have plenty of itineraries that, maybe not necessarily would be Miami round trip, but you would be able to take like a Miami to LA, which goes through the Panama Canal, or up the East Coast to Canada, New England. Those we definitely have. What we can do is we can, pull a search and look at all the itineraries that are Miami round trip. We don't have a lot that are specific Miami round trip. There's also one that might go into the
Unless you take the world cruise, and then
right.
you can
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's limited to Caribbean, but beautiful Caribbean itineraries, very unique island stops for Oceania. I believe, and I'd have to double check, but I believe we have a Bermuda. If it's not Miami, it's New York. And we do repeat that Amazon cruise because it's very popular. And then, the other options would be maybe some one ways. So you only have to fly back home or fly out once. Or, we have one ways doing like transoceanics. So you can, fly over to Europe and then cruise back. So some of those options. And your travel advisor at Luxury Cruise Connections can help you narrow that search down easily.
we'll for sure get back to her and look into that for sure. Count on it. And then Nancy was commenting. Just want to say thank you so very much to LCC and our agent Jordan Yates for your fantastic services and for your awesome perks you provide, and to Oceania for a world-class cruise every single time we're on your ships, Marina, Riviera. Wow, we're overwhelmed by your luxury and fantastic cuisine. We just love it. Thank you so much, Nancy, for that feedback. We love to hear that. And then Karen Johnson is asking, wondering when you'll announce World Cruise 2028.
Well, that's a great question. I know. Well, we're going to take a break from our world cruises for 2028. We've been doing it for so many years, and we thought it would be best to focus on, some shorter grand voyages like the 60-day, the 96-day. There's 120-day in there as well. So,
But you can always back to back this. You can always back to back this.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
I know.
you can always tie together because, as Tricia mentioned in the very beginning, we don't do a lot of repeat itineraries. So you can always tie, 2, 3 itineraries together to create something long.
So I'm going to go ahead and say something that, Trish and Joel might slap my hand for later, but I'm still going to say it. We've done this in the past, okay? We've had guests that have come to us and said, I want to do like a world cruise, but off world cruise season, which is the second half of the year. Can you piece together a world cruise like itinerary for me and give me world cruise perks? And so what we did actually, and I think Jill might have remembered this, and I'm sure Trish as well. We actually pieced together a back to back, almost 150 or 160 days. And Jill and Trish were able to go to revenue and say, hey, we know this is not an official world cruise with all the world cruise events and stuff like that, but it's still a long enough itinerary that looks like a world cruise. Can we offer world cruise perks? And they were able to get it. and we did. So that was incredible, and we can do that as well. So for 2028, there's not an official world cruise. We'll make sure to put one together for any guest of ours that wants to do that. It takes a little bit of work, but we'll get it done, and we'll give you some good perks in it. So yeah, we'll put together. How about that? I think it's a good idea. We'll put together LCC Oceania World Cruise for 2028, and then we'll sell it.
A great idea.
And Carlos advisors can go too. Thank you.
There you go. Okay, there is Wi-Fi, so it'll work from it. Okay, and Elizabeth, great information. Thank you so much. And Kenton, does the 300 room credit work for the smaller ships and the 7-day cruises? Got it. Okay, I guess the answer is yes, of course. Just anything that you book in the next 2 weeks. And then reminding everybody, Denise sent that link, that form. Denise, if you can send it again, please. It's the easiest way for us to know if you don't have an assigned advisor, or even if you do, to fill that form, let us know, and we'll reach out to you after the event to make sure that we can get you taking advantage of that $300 promotion that we've been talking about so much. And Susan wants to know, what are your smaller ships? For those that don't know, that's a good question. Jill?
I'll let you go ahead and tell that, Jill. I'm not ignoring you all. I'm trying to put some itineraries together so that I can show them to you
no
really
problem.
quick.
So starting with our first ship ever, the Regatta. So the Regatta, Insignia, Nautica, and Serena. And they're all sister ships. So they're all a little over 640 guests each. And as we mentioned before, they do have specialty dining, Toscana's, Polo Grill. And then we bring in items off the menu from Jacques in the grand dining room. But you're not going to have, the creperie. You're not going to have some of the elements and extra space areas that we have with the Allura and the Vista, and even the Marine and Riviera, because they're about half the size. But still lovely ships, beautifully, luxurious.
Ralph Lauren, right? I mean, the ships went through a huge renovation with Ralph Lauren, and you guys redid those ships, and they look incredible. I mean, it wasn't too long ago when you did that huge overhaul, that Ralph Lauren overhaul on those smaller ships.
Exactly. We keep them up, as needed, which and we're going to continue to do that. They're just, you have to look at what I suggest is look at the stateroom size, the square footage. The higher you go in category, the bigger you're going to get with your stateroom square footage. Not only that, if you book a suite, any of the like penthouse or above with Oceania, you get not only your stateroom attendant, but you also get your private butler. Which is a really nice touch. I didn't ever know what to do with a butler until I sailed on the Vista for my vacation last year, and we used Raul for bringing in a charcuterie tray for us one afternoon and doing some of our laundry, and he got us specialty dining repeated because we wanted to go back again to Toscana's and back again to Polo Grill. And so they're there for you when you're booking the, again, penthouse category and above. You get that added touch, and that's across the fleet.
Beautiful.
Carlos, can I show a few itineraries, or do you want me to wait a few minutes?
Two more questions, and then we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nancy wanted to know, any chance the Aquamar Cafe that we thoroughly loved on the Marina will get added to the Riviera for the January 25th sailing out of Auckland? Hoping for yes.
January 25th of 25 or 26?
We're past 26.
Oh, we're past 25, so 26 or 27. I don't think it will be for 26, but it is in. We do have plans to add it.
Okay. All right. So
during her next dry dock.
But hopefully you're gonna have to cruise again, then I guess. But soon enough. And then Leslie is I'm booked on the Allura in January and received a cabin credit for excursions. I use a rollator. I have already booked several excursions. What happens to my credit if I'm not able to take a tour?
If you're not able to take a tour and you've used your credit for
No,
that,
it hasn't used the credit. So if she does, okay, I'm sorry. So if you're using the credit toward it, but that you can't take the tour, that's the question, Leslie.
yeah, it's a non-refundable credit. So you would have to use it. I would think that if so I don't want to say this and then give you the wrong information, but I would think if for some reason you had to cancel and you canceled within a specific time frame, then you might be able to use that for a future excursion. But if you cancel day of or within 24 hours, I believe you're going to lose that credit.
Yeah. Okay, good. And then Rosa showing some interest on 26 and 27 South America, so we'll talk about that. Linda, thank you very much. Shaveli, thank you so much for sharing the inclusions on the World Cruises, which yes, it includes the exclusive prestige package. Thank you for that. And let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and show some itineraries, and then we'll get back to any last questions that might be there. So go for it, Trish.
So I just want to preface this by saying I did this really quick.
You're good, Trisha.
And I was just doing some copy and paste from the e-brochure. So I didn't catch everything, but again, just bird's eye view. This is a few itineraries of what you can expect when you're looking through the brochure. This is a nice Trieste to Barcelona. It's 11 days, April 17th of 2027. You can see it goes around Italy and ends up in Barcelona. There's also a 7-day here that you can see. That's May, June, and August. Let me go here.
You can see all the port days were really immersive in that manner as well. So we want you to have a lot of days to visit those beautiful cities, iconic cities and towns. And that's a difference with Oceania. We really give a lot of time in port.
I did find one for the guest that was looking at wanting to sail to and from Miami. So hang tight because those are at the very end. This one is you can see it's got an overnight in Seville. And Jill, you're spot on when we talk about the itineraries and how port intensive we are. And remember when I talked about 200 plus unique itineraries? We don't do the typical itineraries that you're looking at. We try to offer some differences. This would be up in Northern Europe. You'd have a few options, and there's quite a few more to look through. This is a Reykjavik to London. This is where, if you want to do a crossing where you start in London and end in New York, that's aboard Serena. That's one of our smaller vessels. You would not see me on a crossing, but there's a lot of guests that love this specific one on the right from London that ends in New York. Lisbon to Paris, overnights in Bordeaux. It gives you a chance to see the ports and see the destinations that we visit. We talked about round trip Alaska or round trip Seattle. So these were just two quick ones that I pulled. Seattle, Ketchikan, Sitka, Victoria. And then
I was just to interject. I was just in Alaska on the Riviera, and everything was fantastic. I mean, from start to finish, service, cuisine, the itinerary, and we have a naturalist on board. So as we're going through the glacier area, the naturalist would come on. Actually, she gave a really neat talk beforehand to tell the guests all about what they're about to see and talk about the wildlife and so forth. But even as we were cruising, she would get on the loudspeaker and just point out certain unique factors in the topography of that particular area. And the guests absolutely loved that. It was another way of being more immersive. And I do have to say one little story real quick, because I was on with my boyfriend, and he's never been on a cruise except for his first cruise was on the Vista with me in Europe. And that was my first actual vacation with Oceania, where it wasn't work. Anyway, so we were in Alaska, and I think the port was Ketchikan. And it was a port where we actually tendered, which was very easy. There were only about 4 other people on the tender. When we went down, we got right on, we took right off and got off. And when we got off the tender, he looked over at the huge princess ship that was docked there. And there was just a whole group, people coming off, disembarking the princess ship. And he, as a non-cruiser, except not with me, with Oceania, he looked over and goes, "What's going on over there?" And I said, "What? Where?" He goes, "Over on that ship. What's that crowd of people? What are they doing?" They're getting off the ship. He's like, "Wow." And it was eye-opening for him to see the difference between how we got off the ship and how seamless and easy it was, and then just to see this bulk of a crowd of people. And that's a big difference. It really makes a difference when you're getting into, especially these smaller ports of call that we go to. So that's something definitely to talk about as an Oceania difference with the size of our ships. So that's my little story.
No, I think it's great. Okay, this was, I think, hold on, let me look and see. I got to go a little bit further here. Oh, no. So this was, I was looking for the Miami close to home voyages. So this was the 18-day I was thinking about, the Miami to LA. So, it stays close enough to home where you're just traveling through the United States. But then I did see this one really quick. So let me make sure I had it right. I was looking through the dates really quick. So this would be what Carlos is saying is you could piece it together. This would be, hold on, let me go back up. Miami to Lima, and then Lima to Punta Arenas, and then to Rio, and then Rio to back to Miami. So you're looking at 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 60 days. And so that might give you that option that you're looking for. So that's all I have to show. I'm sorry, I don't have more. I was
This is great. This is
trying
great.
to put a few together.
Great. I appreciate that very much. We caught you a little bit off guard. I do have a couple more real quick questions on the chat that I missed asking. Steve was asking on behalf of his guest, John, who contacted him today for the May 4th, 2026 Miami to Lisbon cruise, and wants to know if there's going to be bridge, the card game, on that ship. He loves to play. Do you by any chance know, or we have to do some research?
Yeah, I can find out. If you can just send me an email. That was from Steve, right? Yeah, just send me an email, and because we do have a list of official bridge cruises where we actually have the bridge instructors on, or I forget what they're officially called. Yeah, but I can find out for you, Steve.
Okay, I'll send you an email and take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you. No, thank you. And you'll like this one. I have a guest who's interested in, and I don't know if it's open yet. 2028, I guess there's a 96-day Asia to Africa cruise.
Yes.
Okay, is that available already?
It's opens for bookings.
Open for what?
It opens for bookings on September 17th, but that's a great opportunity to pre-register, get the information ahead of time, and then you'll be ready to go on September 17th. That's part of this double season launch that we just spoke about.
Okay, so
all you have
to
to do-
pre-register, is there a deposit to pre-register?
Right. So the 50% off on the deposit.
Okay. Okay, great.
And you just do that through one of our cruise specialists.
Yeah,
You
I know.
Call in.
I know Mark. I met Mark,
Okay.
so I'll give him a call. Thank you.
Yep.
Sweet. Karen was asking, can you talk a little bit about Artist Loft? I know it's available on Marina and Riviera. I'm not sure if it's available. It's also in Vista and Allura, I think, maybe.
Yes, the artist loft we have on the larger ships, so Marina, Riviera, Vista, and Allura. It is a beautiful center. It's a beautiful room where we actually have an artist in residence on every sailing. The classes you do have to sign up for, and I will tell you, you want to do that as soon as you get on board because they do fill up. I wasn't able to do it because I was slack. But they are there's no charge, and there are different types of classes. So it just depends on the artists that we have on board. But they are very, very popular, and guests love them. Not only that, we have the Culinary Center. Now, the Culinary Center is just right across the hallway from the artist loft, and that's where you do cooking classes alongside of our chefs. And it is a ton of fun. As a matter of fact, on the Riviera, in our culinary class, we did that lemon pasta Giada's recipe. And it was so fun and it was so good. So you can sign up for those classes as well. Now the artist loft is complimentary, but the culinary center there is a charge for, depending on if you take a series of classes or just one class.
Good. Thank you so much. And then Leslie was clarifying. So she's handicapped, and she wants to know, like, if she books something and uses a credit to book, if last minute she can't go, can she cancel it and get the credit back? I guess maybe to book another excursion. I know that when it's a short excursion credit, it's only meant for excursion credit, so you can't really use it, for anything else like drinks or anything like that. So, but maybe like if she can't go on that one, can she cancel last minute and then use that credit maybe for another one?
Well, we do actually, we do point out which tours are accessible and which are not. So that would be the first line of defense, to be sure that you're selecting the right tours that so that, because I'm thinking that you're thinking you may need to cancel because it might not be work out for you, but that we do specify that, so you can see that when you're actually booking those short excursions. It's tough with short excursions because once they're booked and paid for, it's very difficult because we work with a third vendor party, obviously, with the different short excursions. So it's really not easy to get money back. Once that's locked in. So I would just be very specific with what you're booking. Yeah. And I hope that answers that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can go definitely, Leslie, we can take this offline, of course, and go deeper into the actual cancellation policy for the excursions and so forth. So happy to do that. Make sure that one of our advisors, well, whoever is assigned to you, Leslie, reaches out to you specifically, and we can talk about it. And Lita's asking about solo traveler perks and offers. Are there any solo offers, I guess is a question.
We do have solo offers. So rather than paying the full like 200%, because everything's based on double occupancy with cruise lines, we have a select list of sailings where it might be 175%, it might be 150%. So that's one way to go. And then we do offer on some of our ships solo staterooms as well that are not a full 200%. So you have both those options, and your travel advisor can get you either one of those, the list and or the staterooms that are solo staterooms.
We have an entire section of our website currently that is dedicated to solo travelers, where you can go in and dig into all the different itineraries that have a single promotion, such as 25, 50, or 75%. But we'll make sure to reach out to you directly to show you that and find something that has a good offer for you. Okay, Oceania definitely offers a lot of options for singles, so that's great. I have a question on my private chat. If you're currently on a ship and book a new cruise, is a 300 shipboard credit in addition to the 250 on board credit? That's a good one. The answer is yes. Do I have a yes? Trisha say
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. If you're on the ship within the next 2 weeks during this promotion and you book on board, we will honor the $300 on top of that as well.
Of the onboard book card. Amazing. Thank you
You
so much.
only, yeah, it's a good thing you asked.
We're live. I mean, it's recorded, so
You got us here, exactly.
can't take it back. Awesome, Jeffrey. There you go. And just make sure that the booking is being assigned to obviously Luxury Cruise Connections, which I'm sure it will be, and that'll take care of that. Susan, other than the UK, are any of your cruises possibly golf related where a round could be incorporated in port?
I didn't catch that.
So Susan wants, she's a golf player, and she wants to know if she can incorporate any golf rounds on itineraries other than the UK.
So it depends on what you're looking for, but we can work with our destination services team to help you with that. We don't have any specific, but it's something that we're looking at in the future to tie in golf related theme with some of our itineraries. So just let us know if there's a specific area that you'd like to play golf, and if we can make it happen, we will.
We will for sure make it happen. Yes, and we'll make sure to connect with you on that, and we'll look for a way to make that happen. I'm sure we can figure that out. And what else? Let's see. I ran out of questions. And we also that was quite a bit. That was quite a bit. It was intense. But it's good. Okay, I got one more. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. General IT issue has nothing to do with the topic, but you may want someone to take a look at it. If you click on an email message from all overseas, your website blocks access. Okay, good to know, Leon. We'll make sure that I send it to our marketing team and make sure that we'll fix that. We have been kind of upping the security on our website recently because our website was basically being attacked by people that wanted to bring down our website. So that could have possibly been the reason. But we'll look into that for sure and get that worked out. Let's see, I have a couple more. Thanks, Carlos. Good production. Thank you, Susan, very much. And thank you. Good presentation. Must go. Best to DJ. Thank you, Paula and Alan. And all right, I don't have any more questions.
I'm impressed with all the questions. I don't know that I've ever had that many.
I love it. I love
Great.
it. It means that everybody was super engaged, and I'm extremely thankful for, we went a little bit over time, and Trisha, Jill, you guys did a great job. Joe, we got to check on your microphone for the next time. I think there was some echo going on. We got some feedback on that, but
sorry.
No, it just happened toward kind of more toward the end of it, but it's all good. It's still, we could understand what you were saying. And I'm extremely grateful for everybody staying past the hour with us and being so engaged and being a part of this. And Jill and Trisha, thank you so much for everything that you guys do for Luxury Cruise Connections.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your support, and we're excited. We can't wait for next week. I mean, I think this is going to be like knock it out of the park for both of us.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And Jill, just to let you know, I already sent you the email.
I saw it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
And with that, I wanna say one more time, thank you for everybody for joining today's event. Like I said, we're gonna be sending a recording of this event tomorrow, together with some additional questions, the brochure, etc. You guys gave us a great idea. We're gonna look to put together a 2028 LCC exclusive Grand Voyage, and we'll promote it soon. But aside from that, we look forward to taking really good care of you. For those that already have an advisor, thank you so much for your loyalty, and for those that don't, we'll make sure to reach out to you and get you assigned with somebody that can take really good care of you, and get you set up on your next Oceania cruise. Jill, Trisha, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Trisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
afternoon.
all.
Take care, y'all.
Thank you both.
Contact us at luxurycruiseconnections.com.